The contributions of personalities from the northeast of India are often left out when we speak about India's struggle for independence. These great personalities, however, remain a powerful testament to the unwavering commitment and sacrifices they made for their motherland. Here we have compiled 10 such legendary figures of the northeast. Born in 1802, U. Tirot Singh Siamlia was a native chief of Nongklao, a territory in the Khasi Hills of Meghalaya, who led the Khasis in their fight against the British during the 1829-1833 Anglo-Khasi War. Tirot and his men battled the British for 4 years, engaging in guerrilla warfare. In 1833, while he was hiding out in the hills after sustaining a bullet injury, he was betrayed by one of his men and soon captured by the British forces. He was deported to Dhaka, where he died in captivity on 17 July 1835. A freedom fighter from Meghalaya, he led an uprising against the British during the 1860s. Although very little is known about his early life, historians claim that he was born before the British had annexed the Jayantia Hills in 1835. When the colonial government sought to impose taxes and interfere with traditional customs, the tribes of the Jayantia Hills began harboring an anti-British sentiment. All hell broke loose in 1860 with the imposition of house tax on the tribes inhabiting the Jayantia Hills. What followed was a series of guerrilla attacks which paralyzed the colonial administration. In response, the British launched a full-scale military operation against Nangba and his men. The British captured him in December 1862 after one of his men had tipped off the enemy. After a mock trial, he was hanged 3 days later. Also known as Togan Sangma or Pa Togan Nengminza Sangma, he was a 19th century Garo Achik warrior and leader from Garo Hills, Meghalaya, who died battling British forces on 12 December 1872. In 1872, British soldiers entered the Garo Hills and set up a camp near Sizobibra village. Pa Togan Sangma and the other warriors launched an attack against the British forces only to face a barrage of bullets. Being ill-equipped, the warriors suffered grave losses, and Pa Togan Sangma died on the spot in his quest to save his motherland and his people. One of the most revered figures of the Anglo-Manipur War in 1891 was Major Pauna Brajabhashi, a soldier of the Kangleipa Kingdom or the Kingdom of Manipur under Maharaja Kulachandra. Battling the British undermanned and underarmed in the Battle of Khongjom, Pauna valiantly led his soldiers in one of the fiercest battles in Indian history on 23rd April 1891. Engaged in a bloody clash, the Manipuri soldiers, including Pauna, fought until the last man was killed. Bir Tikendrajit Singh, the Crown Prince of Manipur, who laid down his life along with his General Thangal for protecting the territorial integrity of the state against British imperialist design, has gone down in the annals of history as a hero of supreme sacrifice and extraordinary valor. To save their motherland, the Manipuris fought very bravely under the direction of Tikendrajit, but it was all in vain against the superior might and arms of the British. On 27 April 1891, the British occupied Manipur. Tikendrajit was arrested, and after a farcical trial by a general court-martial, he was publicly hanged on 13 August 1891. A Rongmei Naga leader from present-day Manipur, he was a spiritual leader, social reformist, and political leader who sought to emancipate the Naga people from the clutches of British colonial rule during the early decades of the 20th century. He built an army called Riphen, comprising 500 men and women at its zenith. The army was well versed in military tactics, weaponry, and reconnaissance missions. With weapons, personnel, and an innate understanding of the local terrain, Jadonang and his men were prepared. On 19 February 1931, however, he was arrested by British officials on charges of sedition and later hanged on false murder charges. He was only 26. "We are free people. The white man should not rule over us," said a 13-year-old Rani Gaidinlu of the Rongmei Naga tribe in 1927 while issuing a clarion call to all ethnic Naga tribes from remote hills of the northeastern region. She urged the people not to pay taxes, not work for the British, and even went underground to lead many attacks on the colonial administration. She was arrested in 1932 at the age of 16 and sentenced to life imprisonment. Jawaharlal Nehru met her at Shillong jail in 1937 and gave her the title of Rani. Released in 1947 after India's independence, she continued to work for the upliftment of her people. She passed away on 17 February 1993. Born on 22 December 1924 in Borangamari village of the undivided Dorong district, Assam, Konoklata Borua made a name for herself during the Quit India movement when she joined the Mrityu Bahini when she was only 17. She had earlier applied to join the Azad Hind Force but was rejected because she was a minor. On 20th September 1942, the revolutionary camp of Gopur division of undivided Dorong district decided to hoist and unfurl the national flag at a local police station, and it was Borua who led a procession of unarmed villagers for the task. When the officer in charge of the police station warned the procession of deadly consequences if they went ahead with their plan, Borua refused to slow down. Consequently, the police opened fire and Borua was shot dead holding the flag. Born sometime during the last decade of the 19th century in Daring village, Basar subdivision of the present West Siang district, Arunachal Pradesh, Mose Riba was involved in the cane business with traders across the Brahmaputra in Dibrugarh, Assam before his involvement in the freedom struggle. Mose Riba became the first INC president from Arunachal Pradesh. He led marches and his supporters in the path of the country's freedom and contributed to the freedom struggle. For his sacrifices and contributions in the Indian freedom movement, he was conferred with Tamrapatra by the then PM of India, Indira Gandhi. Moniram Dewan was one of the greatest freedom fighters of Assam and was the first person to establish a private tea garden in Assam. When the uprising of 1857 broke out, Moniram viewed it as an excellent opportunity to restore Ahom rule in Assam. He and a few other freedom fighters together planned an anti-colonial agitation. He mobilized the Ahom rulers and the Assam Light Infantry sepoys for this uprising. The plot was discovered by the British before it could begin, and he was hanged.